Hello, my sweet, lovable, and adorable little trading friends out there. How are you doing? It is Doug with Trade with Doug, and I promise you today, not only do I take a grope in the murkiness, but I come bearing gifts of fruitful success. That's true. At least that's my intent. I thank you so very much for tuning into this video today. I want to do my very best to try to point you in the right direction of being successful. Now, I want to appeal to two groups of people out here before I start speaking today. The first, be that trader who is like, damn, my P&L looks like hell. P&L look like hell? Then I need you to go over to tradewithdoug.com. I need you to click on the private community and start trading with me. I do guarantee I will improve your P&L if your P&L looked like hell. That's something I can do. Now, maybe you're a cheapo. You're like, you know what? I don't want to pay anybody any money to do anything. I'm going to go solo. Going to learn the hard way. I've created a free room for you people. Yeah, you people. I did. And it's also just focused on penny stocks. Maybe you're just one of those. You're just penny stocks. I shouldn't be so rude, should I? Penny stocks and crypto. We've had an amazing run. We've done some really good stuff in this market. It's a free chat room, doing the best I can to try to service the people of the trading community. Make my mama proud. So anyway, guys, let's go. By the way, it's down in the description box. Let's talk about what a drama week, huh? Drama for your mama this week. So three things have happened. I just remember two of those and forgot the third. So bear with me while I try to scramble my memory. One is that we closed a day under that all-important 4,330 level on the S&P, actually the ES futures. So we talked about that. If it's your first time to the video, we've been just sitting there harping and harping and harping for weeks. As long as 4330 holds, the bullish trend is intact. It didn't. We closed underneath of that. Second, I remembered the third, by the way. Second, Russia invades Ukraine. And then third, the perfect storm was created for one hella epic bounce. We'll talk about all three of those in that sequence. First, we'll begin by talking about that 4,300 level. Regardless of what goes on in the world and the planet or the news, again, remember I've done it like 10 videos. I keep kicking the same topic, maybe because I have a lack of creativity. Maybe I just think it's important for you to know. What we've been saying is that 4,300 was really that line in the sand. We had some trades underneath of this back in January, if you remember, but the market could not close, and that sent it up. So the market couldn't close underneath of that at any given day. Next thing, it rallies. It was back above the 200-day, sells back off, and you see we're still trying to fight the good fight there about a week ago on a Friday. But it was something that I felt, well, we might want to give it a little bit of slack. Now, going back to there was some talk that Russia would invade Ukraine. We didn't know that at the time, so I understand a risk-off environment. Well, that happens, and you begin the trading week with just absolute destruction to the market. As soon as they heard that news, the market just sells off, and at one point just plows. Going into Wednesday and Thursday, it's just an absolute mess. Now, on that note, very sad situation. War is terrible in any formats. It just feels like innocent people will die over some silly, just not needed. Okay, so my heart goes out to all of those Ukrainians or anyone with ties to either country. It's just not Ukrainians, Russians as well. They don't necessarily believe that their leader's doing the right thing here. It's just a sad situation. I'll leave it at that. This is not a political speech. You can go elsewhere for that. Third, it's that perfect storm that was created. There's a couple of things that happened there on this bounce Thursday that really opened up the door. Remember, I kind of talked a little bit about this in the video, but I want to highlight this again. Another scenario, regardless of what's happening in the world, what is that truth? I said it in the last couple of videos. What's the truth? Technicals. Technicals are the truth. What you know about everything is reflected in the current price. It's the ultimate truth. No lying in the charts. Now, there was something special that happened. Let me back this chart out just a little bit. If we take a look here, I should get, let me get one of these lines here. If you take a look at this, we got down into a 6-month low. So I'm going to put the line here so everyone can see this. There we go. Okay. So again, technical levels being respected. What happened here was a combination of a couple of things. Some are theory, some are technical. I did the video there. You can watch it in detail from a couple of days called Why Did the Market Rally When There's a War? Well, here's what happens. Things can get always overblown. This is why we do a lot of reversal trading in itself, is because things get out of control. And there's two levels. When you're looking at being a trader, there's two levels we're talking about: emotions and technicals. The real professional, winning, long-term successful traders are those who slowly chip away at poor emotional habits and rely more on technicals, right? Rely more on technicals. I constantly use this analogy because I don't have a better one, but I always refer to it as like, for those that understand pilots, like pilot licenses. You know, one of the biggest reasons for air crashes is pilot error, because they don't trust their instruments. So one of the things you have to do is, when you get instrument rated, is trusting your instruments, because you personally don't know how far you're looking or how high you're up, but the instruments are accurate. Trust your instruments. As traders, our instruments are technical analysis. Trust the technicals. Remove your emotional behaviors. But here's what happens. Combine a couple of events. You start out in January, it's just meltdown, 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 meltdown. So traders and investors, the uneducated ones, are just, my portfolio looks like hell. P&L look like hell? P&L look like hell. That's starting to wear on them. Everything they're trying, not working. Stuff that was working in 2021, sure in the hell ain't working in 2022. Buying a dip ain't working. So you're running out of strategies, you're running out of answers, you're running out of money too, and giving back a big chunk of those gains. You wait for the Fed comes out and doesn't really give anybody a solid answer. Are we going to raise rates? We're not going to raise rates. We're going to raise rates a lot. We're never going to raise rates. We're going to cut them a little bit. It's all over the place. Oh, we're going to do QE, not QE. It's not really called QE. It's just this wishy-washy behavior causes more indecision. Then the market just keeps going down and down and down and down. Then Russia invades Ukraine. And at that point, the emotional is like, that's it. I'm done. Capitulation point. One of the things you have to understand with trading, as I mentioned in that video, is about 95% of all traders are wrong. Your emotional gut normally is wrong. Your thinking of what happens next normally is wrong. Mine is too. That's why we rely on the technicals. That's why I don't tell you I guarantee something's going to happen in the market, because I don't know as well as anybody else. When you look at a professional trader versus an amateur, that separating point is that the professional realizes it's just a game of chance. It's a game of chance. It's a game of probabilities. Nothing that happened in February has to be a guarantee in March. So when you look at this chart, you say, is this going to go higher? Are we going higher? We could not. Here's what will happen if it goes higher. Here's what will not happen if it wants to go lower, and so on. So remember, if you really want to be successful, separate that emotional. Is emotionalness a word? I don't know. I'm going to use it. Hashtag emotionalness. Emotionalness, I can't even pronounce it. I feel like a patoot. Where was I? Emotions. Get rid of the damn emotions. Get rid of the emotions. Focus on the charts. You hit a 6-month low. You had a perfect storm of panic, and off the market went. Now, if you notice that the 2 days of action was just constant dip buying, there wasn't really a pullback. What is that? Is that a rally? It is a rally, but it's not giving short sellers an easy exit. And you need to know these things, because, you know, if short sellers don't get an exit, they just keep covering and keep covering. So there's a good chance that what we saw is just temporary. It's just a short selling rally. Maybe the plunge protection team for the conspiracy theorists out there. So when we look at the chart, let's get down to business. Maybe we make a run to 44.50s where the 200-day moving average is. I'll give it that. That's pretty good. Plus, something else I mentioned, if you want to put a fourth sequence in there, the market was down, the S&P, 14%. The NASDAQ here itself was at 20. So it was a full 20% correction. So again, extreme oversold conditions, extreme fear. This is what happens. And it happens on the highest scale. So again, while everyone is going short, doom and gloom, hitting the bid, what happens? Biggest rally you've seen. Now, what else would happen? And here's how you guys end up making money, is by thinking like you used to think when you first started trading. So what happens? Everybody thinks, oh yeah, this is the bottom. Yeah, this is the bottom. Bottom. I'm going to load up on Monday. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it. Not the right spot for it. You got to let some things settle in. So that's my take there on the markets. Do I have some names? Two. I think it's better to trade the indices now, but I want to go back and maybe I'm going to seek redemption from two names. PayPal, not this could be that time where PayPal is finally, I'm giggling while I'm saying it, finally oversold. 310 down to $100. Do not buy this first thing money. I mean, this is a big bounce. It was 94 up to 110. You've got to let, doesn't matter what happens Monday morning. You've got to let it settle. Got to let things set up. A lot of emotions bottled up over the weekend, news reports and so on. It's going to be like the wild, wild west. But I like PayPal. And I tell you what, I'm going to retract some statements I said earlier. Maybe I'm going to ask forgiveness from Mr. Roku. From a top short, Roku and ZM, bashing the hell out of this thing. I'm long, I'm not short anymore. I did well with the short, but I've been out for a while actually. This thing looking pretty damn good here. And it was before this whole situation happened with the market. After their earnings seemed to be that capitulation point for Roku, where it had hit a bottom of 102. And even when the market was going lower, Roku was hanging in there. It was hanging in there. The dips were being bought. This rally helped it. Now you're up here to 142. This is gap fill resistance. So again, everything's going to look the same. You're going to look at a bunch of charts on your list right now that look like hell, just beaten down, bludgeoned with big candlesticks, okay? Just don't chase anything on Monday. Let things set up, be patient, see if you get some pullbacks, see how the first couple pullbacks go if you get them, and then go from there. To me right now, I'm going to say that this is probably a short-term rally, but there's still room in it. You still have room up to the 200-day moving average here on the S&P. I'll put the Qs up here. You still have some room. It's a little bit distance for the Qs, but the S&P here looks like 4450. But I think that would be pushing it. So remember, this could be the same sort of 3-day impulsive rally that we saw back then. So just keep that in mind there. So anyway, my tender, lovable, squeezable little cute cheeked trader friends out there, I do want to thank you very much for watching this edition of Market Mutterings. I hope I took a grope in the murk and it's made some sense out of everything. Visit the private community, visit the penny pound, come join me, come hang with me. If nothing else, I'll try to keep you entertained. How about that? Take care, guys. Trade well. I'll talk to you very soon.